Hello guys, welcome to my channel, Willkommen. We're going to do another German video here. This one is a travel video. This is the 10 best places to visit in Germany. If you like it, please like and subscribe, pass it on to your friends. I've never been to Germany. I've always wanted to go to Germany. I think it looks absolutely fantastically beautiful. Also the architecture is something that I've always liked. So let's have a quick look at some really nice places in Germany, and hopefully you enjoy the video. So like I just said, the architecture, look at that. So I don't know what the German word is for that. I've seen that in England, so that's medieval. That cross wattle and daub kind of look. I went to Shakespeare's house in Stockton-on-Trent, or was it Stockton-on-Trent? No, upon Avon. Something upon Avon, where Shakespeare was born. So similar sort of thing with that cross beam architecture, then when the daub put over the top. But yeah, you automatically you think of Germany when you see that.
Best known for its famous Oktoberfest and World War II history, Germany is also home to some of Europa's most beautiful scenery, fairy tale castles, important historic sites, and lively party scenes. Located in the heart of Europe, Germany maintains the continent's most powerful economy. Here's a look at the best places to visit in Germany.
I think that's Walt. Is that the one that's, I forget the name of that castle, that's the one that Walt Disney has on the symbol. It's had a massive storm come in. I'd love to see a lovely big golf course through there.
Number 10. Rothenburg. The walled city of Rothenburg sits on a plateau overlooking the Tauber River in Bavaria. Straight from the pages of a fairy tale, the town is famous for its extremely well-preserved medieval center. Be sure to visit the town hall, the seat of city government.
When we went back home to Australia 3 years, about a year before the pandemic, my mother-in-law always wanted a cuckoo clock. So in my city of Brisbane in Australia, up on top of, there's a mountain called Mount Tamborine. It's a very big German community, and even the place where I come from in Brisbane, it was all settled by German settlers in the early 1800s. So we have Oppermans and Mokkaus and events, and all the kids I went to school with have all got German names. But we went up on top of the mountain. It's like a artisan sort of mountain, like, you know, that sort of place. But there's lots of German people up there, a lot of Polish people as well that emigrated after the war, and they kind of turned it into like a little Europe-y sort of place. But yeah, there's a very famous cuckoo clock seller there. They're German people. They've been doing it for 100 years up on the mountain. So she wanted a cuckoo clock, so we went in there, and actually the cuckoo clock that we bought actually looks exactly like that. I think maybe City Hall or whatever that is, not a church. Maybe that's a city hall, but yeah, it looks exactly like that.
Since medieval times. Climb the steps of the 13th century Hall's Tower for stunning views of the city. Rothenburg is also famous for the stores that carry Christmas items all year round, and for having an outstanding Christmas market each December.
People forget about like all these medieval structures and stuff, about how impressive they are. when I was in England, it was the same thing. You're looking up at these things, these cathedrals and these towers and stuff. It must have just been absolutely amazing 500 years ago. And also, anyone from Germany, so looking at these buildings, so is there like a standard that they have to be kept at? Is there like an A-grade German historical society that if you buy one of these buildings, you have to renovate them to exactly what they were like 500 years ago? And am I looking at this and saying that this is a modern building that's been redone, or are these the real deal?
Number 9. Rügen Island. Located in the Baltic Sea, Rügen Island is the largest island in Germany, connected to the mainland by a bridge and causeway. Charming villas, romantic seaside resorts, and beautiful beaches all draw tourists to Rügen Island. But the star attraction is the Jasmund National Park, famous for its unique chalk cliffs, rising 528 feet over the sea. Another notable feature of Rügen Island is Cape Arkona, East Germany's northernmost tip, where tourists can visit an old lighthouse, remnants of a Slavic castle, and a picturesque fishing village.
You wouldn't associate Germany with beaches, would you?
Number 8. Romantic Rhine.
So look at that, that's amazing. The castle up on the hill, up on the berg there, and that looks, when I was a kid I had a big jigsaw puzzle. It was about a 5,000 piece and it was similar to this. It took me forever to finish, but you know, you couldn't draw that. If you got an artist to say, okay, let's build a little village, he wouldn't come up with that. That is amazing.
Stretching between the cities of Bingen and Bonn, Germany, the Middle Rhine flows through a dramatic geological formation called...
Like that, look at that. That is just like, you couldn't draw that. If you got someone to design a landscape, you couldn't draw that.
Called the Rhine Gorge. This region features a spectacular landscape, dotted with some 40 medieval castles, picturesque villas, and terraced vineyards. The region's most famous natural attraction is the Lorelei, the deepest and most narrow section of the Rhine Gorge, which features a large, treacherous rock that caused several boating accidents prior to the 19th century. The best way to experience the romantic Rhine is by a riverboat cruise.
Well, who came up with the stupid idea of putting the train tracks right on the river? Look at these castles. This is a castle up on the hill.
Number 7. Cologne. Situated on the Rhine River in the German federal state of North Rhine-Westphalia, Cologne is one of the most popular places to visit in Germany. The city offers a vibrant array of attractions, buzzing nightlife, and a stellar arts and culture scene. Cologne also packs impressive landmarks, such as the city's informal symbol, the Cologne Cathedral, a stunning Gothic.
Yeah, so that's a very famous building. I remember learning about that as a kid. Like there's that one. There's the one in France with the floating buttresses, and then there's wasn't the one in France that burnt down or something. Notre Dame or something, it burnt down. But this one, and then there's one in Spain which hasn't been finished yet. It's only been under construction for 250 years or something. But this one's a very famous building.
Gothic church. Moreover, the 12 Romanesque churches are magnificent examples of medieval architecture.
I'm by no way religious, but I love going to churches. It's, whenever I visit a new city, it's one of the first things I do is to see if they've got a big cathedral, and if they do, have a look at that. Have a look at what wealth and power for hundreds or thousands of years can do. And if anyone doesn't look at that and say how amazing people are, well then you're not looking at what I'm looking at. And being a tradesman myself, and if you were a mason and you worked on this building, you must just look, you'd have to walk past in pride and just go, I made that little gargoyle there. And you know, and if that was the only thing that you made, I've never made anything anywhere near as beautiful as that. But you know, just look at the amount of work and the amount of creativity and the skill involved just to make all that out of marble. I always wonder, like, because I come from Australia, we've got nothing over 170 years old. I always wonder, I had the same feeling when I lived in England. And I watched people, and I used to walk around just looking at stuff and looking at beams or looking at brickwork. And I'd watch everyone else and they just walk past it like, I wonder if Germans appreciate, like, when they like see a little castle wall like that in the middle of their city, do they stop sometimes and look up and go, wow.
Number 6. Dresden. Before it was severely damaged from World War II bombings, Dresden was known as the Jewel Box because of its lavish collection of stunning art and architecture. After many years, the city has restored much of its former glory. The capital of the federal state of Saxony, Dresden offers a number of historic sites, like the stunning Frauenkirche Cathedral. The city also boasts many cultural institutions, of which the Semper Opera is most widely esteemed.
So it looks lovely now, but wouldn't it be better if we just didn't have any wars to destroy all this amazing shit that we make all the time? What the Taliban have done to all that old stuff is just stop bombing all the shit all the time.
My classmate said that the project was 10% of our grade.
So, what does she know?
Number 5. Lübeck. As one of the largest Baltic seaports in Germany, Lübeck is located in the country's...
I just want to go back and have a look at this. I get impressed just by this candelabra here. because, like I said, I'm a boilermaker, so I know what's involved in the casting and the design and how to actually make that actually work. So just that to me is impressive, let alone all of this that's sitting behind it. And I'm sure that if you're an artist or you do this, you just look at one of these statues and really appreciate how much work goes into just that one little part. And have a look at it, you know. If you're a bricklayer, you must look at this and just go, for fuck's sake.
Number 5. Lübeck. As one of the largest Baltic seaports in Germany, Lübeck is located in the country's northernmost state, Schleswig-Holstein. Founded in 1143, Lübeck served for several centuries as the capital seat of...
Isn't that fantastic? Isn't that fantastically German? Look at that. And look at this, the tower here.
the Hanseatic League. Although it was the first German city to be bombed and damaged during World War II, Lübeck still retains much of its medieval architecture, making it a popular tourist destination. A walk through the narrow streets of the Altstadt offers views of historic sites like the stunning cathedral, the 12th century town hall, and the city gates, of which the Holstentor is the most famous.
Did she just say 12th century? Jesus Christ.
Number 4. Heidelberg. With historic treasures like the medieval Old Bridge, the Heidelberg Castle, and the Church of the Holy Spirit and the Knight St. George House, it is no wonder that Heidelberg is a popular tourist attraction. The city center's main street is packed with pubs, restaurants, museums, art galleries, shops, and markets, selling the likes of beer steins, cuckoo clocks, and German sausages. Home to Germany's oldest university, Heidelberg's long academic history can be retraced along the Philosopher's Walk, a scenic footpath often walked by many early philosophers and professors.
Again, if someone could say, what's like when you're in a terraced house and you've got your roof is connected, I'm sure there's a partition, there'd be a brick partition, but what happens if your next door neighbour's not keeping it up to the historical standard? Is there laws against it, or what happens? Is there something you can do and say, hey, Fritz next door is not doing what he's supposed to be doing?
Number 3. Neuschwanstein. The most photographed building in Germany, Neuschwanstein Castle is also one of Europe's most popular tourist destinations. Nestled among the breathtaking beauty of the Bavarian Alps near the town of Füssen, this fairy tale castle served as the inspiration behind Walt Disney's Sleeping Beauty Castle.
Is that fantastic or what?
Constructed in the late 1800s, Neuschwanstein Castle was never built for defense purposes, as most castles. Instead, this castle was created as a fanciful retreat for King Ludwig II of Bavaria, who had a reputation for abiding in daydreams instead of reality.
I wonder if they spared any expense. What do you guys think? Do you think that they used some cheap stuff inside, or do you think it's just all great?
Number 2. Munich. Best known as the origin of the world-famous Oktoberfest, Munich is one of the best places to visit in Germany with a great culture scene. Munich is home to several sophisticated opera houses and theaters like the National Theatre. The city center is an attractive blend of classic and modern architecture, teeming in historic churches, medieval walls, and royal palaces, as well as bustling shopping centers and nightlife venues. Munich's Oktoberfest began in 1810 with a royal wedding celebration. Today, this famous festival draws millions of visitors every year to take part in the revelry that involves several gigantic beer tents, delicious Bavarian food, and millions of gallons of beer.
I don't know if it's correct, but I remember going to my first Oktoberfest in Australia when I was about 16 and all I heard was tiki tiki oi oi oi. I don't know what that means, but...
Number 1. Berlin. The capital city of Germany, Berlin is widely associated with its World War II history and former division of East and West Germany by the Berlin Wall during the Cold War. Since the fall of the historic wall in 1989, Berlin today is now a vast, unified city, diverse in ethnic groups, and abundant in sightseeing attractions, culture, and nightlife. Many tourists are drawn to Berlin's famous historic structures, which include the Brandenburg Gate and the Reichstag. Although most of the Berlin Wall was demolished, there are some portions still standing near Checkpoint Charlie and the Reichstag.
So I think that's the Holocaust monument. I think that's, I don't know what it's called in German, but funny enough, one of the first times I came to Manila, 20 years ago, I went to the museum, and there's not much there, of course, as you can imagine, in the Philippines. Lots of Filipino stuff, but not stuff from all over the world. It's not like going to the Louvre or going to, you know, the English Museum. And funny enough, they had a piece of the Berlin Wall as one of their main attractions, and I was sitting there going, is anyone else noticing this? We've got nothing here except for a piece of the Berlin Wall, and it was a full piece with all the graffiti on it and everything like that, so that was interesting. And is it true that when JFK went to Berlin, he said, "Ich bin mein Berliner" or something? That doesn't mean this is my Berlin. This means I'm a sausage or something. Can you put that down in the comments whether that's true? Bahnhof, I know that one, that's bus station. Okay, so that's it guys. So yeah, please go and have a look at the original video of these guys. They seem to make some good quality stuff. It's not rubbish like some of the other stuff that I react to. So yeah, they seem to know what they're talking about. They ask locals and everything. Yeah, another interesting video. It just shows you how a lot of people who are not from Europe don't know much about Germany. We always get taught the rubbish, you know, not rubbish, but we get taught the bad stuff. We don't get taught all the history, and we don't get taught daily life about, you know, what Germans are like and what they love and all their culture and stuff like that. So it's just interesting to see. I'm always interested, like if we go back to this place, Where's the castle? Is this the castle? Was that the one? Where's... Yeah, so I always imagine the architect, like the king comes to you and says, I want you to build this, and they've got a picture of it, and the first thing you must think is, yeah, okay, and then they go, but I want you to build it on top of a cliff. They must go home the first night and they must turn around to their wife and go, I can't believe I just took that job on. But anyway, hope you liked this video. Like and subscribe. I've been getting lots of comments from my German viewers, which is great. Enjoy the rest of your evening or daytime wherever you are, and I'll see you again. Auf Wiedersehen.